ساكن 100 زلمه.
اوكي قايم. نو بليز ستاي
نفديك يا يمن بالروح بالدم، نفديك يا يمن بالروح بالدم، نفديك يا يمن بالروح بالدم، نفديك يا يمن بالروح. 1 minute. نفديك يا يمن. صنعاء قبلتنا والحديدة حبيبتنا وعدن دلوعتنا وتعز نهضتنا. أما مأرب ماذا قلت؟
بلادنا.
مأرب حصانتنا. انتبهوا لهذا.
لك يسلم تمك.
Sure. So my name is Najat Nahshan. I'm a community organizer. I'm a PhD candidate in clinical psychology and an activist here in Dearborn. We organize a protest here to raise awareness about what's going on in Yemen. And we have one message and one message alone today. We're not taking any sides. Our main goal today, our main mission is to get out a statement, and that is hands off Yemen, and that's from everywhere. Just hands off Yemen. The bloodshed, it's been long overdue. There's no more blood for Yemen, for you to spill in Yemen. Hands off Yemen everywhere. The Yemeni people deserve better. The Yemeni people deserve better. Free, free Yemen!
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 Save Yemen!
Save Yemen!
Save Yemen!
Save Yemen!
1, 2, 3, 4!
1, 2, 3, 4!
Stop the bloodshed! Stop the war!
Stop the bloodshed! Stop the war!
5, 6, 7, 8!
5, 6, 7, 8!
Stop the killing! Stop the hate!
Stop the killing! Stop the hate!
1, 2, 3, 4!
1, 2, 3, 4!
Stop the bloodshed! Stop the war!
Stop the bloodshed, stop the war.
5, 6, 7, 8!
5, 6, 7, 8.
Stop the murder! Stop the hate!
Stop the murder, stop the hate.
Free, free Yemen!
Free, free Yemen.
Free, free Yemen!
Free, free Yemen.
You should have said they should stand for that this right. Today is Friday.
Hi Anna.
Hi, how are you?
We're live. Would you like to say something?
Absolutely. I'd just like to thank the organizers and everybody who's out here today in support of the people of Yemen, our brothers and sisters. We know Dearborn's a global community, and I'm proud to be out here supporting the cause today.
Awesome. Elizabeth,
Hi.
would you like to say something?
I'm also grateful to be here to stand in support with my Yemeni brothers and sisters.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you guys. My fingers. I know.
يا شباب سوف نقف للسلام الجمهوري اليمني.
رددي أياتها الدنيا نشيدي، رددي وأعيدي وأعيدي، واذكري في فرحتي كل شهيدي، وامنحي خيرا من ضوء عيدي. رددي أياتها الدنيا نشيدي، رددي أياتها الدنيا نشيدي، وحدتي وحدتي كان نشيدا رائعا يملأ نفسي. أنت عهد عارف في كل ذمة، رايتي رايتي يا نسيجا حكته من كل شمس، أخرجي خفيضة في كل كلمة. أمتي أمتي إن حين المأسى يا مصدر بأسي، تقدري فداك يا أكرم أمة عشت إيماني وحبي أممية ومسيري فوق دربي عربية وسيبقى نبض قلبي يمنية لن ترى الدنيا على أرضي وصية.
فعلا لن ترى الدنيا على أرض وصية. اليمن سوف يبقى حر. اليمن سوف يبقى.
The brother, State Representative Ibrahim عياش.
All right, I know it's cold, and the question I always ask myself is how much longer are we going to have this discussion? How much longer are we going to continue to ask the basic question that a people with no decision of their own were thrown into fighting famine and fear? How much longer tolerate that? And how much longer are we going to continue to allow the United States?
It's cold. I know it's really cold, but it matters. It matters for the people of Yemen. Inshallah, we're going to welcome our state representative, or the state representative for Hamtramik, a Yemeni American, someone I consider an older brother, State Representative Ibrahim عياش.
All right, I know it's cold, and the question I always ask myself is how much longer are we going to have this discussion? How much longer are we going to continue to ask the basic question that a people with no decision of their own were thrown into fighting famine and fear? How much longer? And how much longer are we going to continue to allow the United States government to be... All right, I know it's cold, and the question I always ask myself is how much longer are we going to have this discussion? How much longer are we going to continue to ask the basic question that a people with no decision of their own were thrown into fighting famine and fear? How much longer are we going to tolerate that? And how much longer are we going to continue to allow the government to be complicit in this fighting fear and famine? Time after time, year after year, we have seen the brunt of this war. And for many young folks in this audience today, we don't know the direct impact of that war. And for that we say alhamdulillah. But for everybody else who knows the impact of losing a loved one, who knows the impact of fleeing Yemen or any part of the world where there is crisis, they came into this country because there is a promise that the people have an opportunity to organize. A promise that if enough voices came out and said something and acted on it, that we will start seeing some change. Enough voices that if all of us collectively recognize the injustice and we continue to fight despite the odds, one day we will see that justice come to fruition. And if not us, maybe someone else in another generation would see that justice. So I don't have to tell you all the statistics about Yemen. I don't have to tell you about all of this destruction that happens over and over again. I just want to leave you with one important point. Because I've heard this narrative enough times, whether it's about Palestine, whether it's about Yemen, whether it's the crisis in Sudan, wherever it may be, I've heard this conversation over and over again. Abe, what's the point? Why are we standing in Dearborn trying, what the heck can we do about the war in Yemen in front of the Henry Ford Library? And that's a legitimate question to ask. But I want you to recognize why this is important. You see, advocacy without organization is useless. I'm going to say that one more time. Advocacy without organization is useless. If you don't put in the work to have a concerted, organized effort, if you don't do the work of telling the story of the people of Yemen and uplifting Yemeni people to share those stories, then we will not move the needle as fast as we would like. If we are not doing the work of contacting our federal representation and advocating the U.S. Department of State and our U.S. Senate and our Congress members and the White House to stop involving themselves by selling weapons that literally killed over 100 people last week who were imprisoned by a regime for no other reason than racism. If you don't uplift those voices and organize the people around that issue, then someone else is going to tell you the story. And they'll tell you things like Yemen is harboring terrorists. They'll tell you things like this is a situation that they set up themselves. That Iran and Saudi Arabia have nothing to do with this crisis. So, if you continue to stay quiet or ask yourself what's the point, someone else is going to make that point for you. And I promise you that point is not going to emphasize the children that die every 10 minutes. That point is not going to emphasize the women that are raped every single day in Yemen. That point is not going to share the story of men getting amputated and burned to death. That is the point of events and organizing like these. So as you leave today, I want you to ask yourself one question. If you revel in the culture that is Yemen, if you enjoy the music and the food and the clothing and the coffee that hails from the land that built the first skyscrapers, do not detach yourself of the political implications that are happening back there. You cannot enjoy the treasures of Yemen without recognizing the turmoil that is happening right now. Engage yourself and learn about the conflict. Because I tell you, I'm not an expert on the Yemeni conflict, and I know not everybody.
Welcome everyone. I am unapologetically standing with all of you. I know you get a lot of politicians coming up here, but I want you to know I'm a real one because I'm Palestinian. So I know what it means when I have my own country, where I was born, where I was raised, completely turn their backs on my family in the Middle East. I want you to know that there are people like me now in Congress that stand with you, that are saying enough. We need an embargo. We cannot. It's been weapons like this that are killing innocent lives. And the young man really spoke to me. I don't know what his name was, but he was amazing. He said everyone's hands off of Yemen, and I feel that in my heart, like everyone, because so many of the people involved put the people, the children, the people in Yemen last. They put their drive, their hunger, the greed, all of that first before the people of Yemen. And let me tell you, no matter how this is going to end, you know it's going to take generations for us to deal with the trauma, the hurt and the pain that we're leaving the children that are impacted directly from the United States literally standing by and watching this happen with no movement. We have to do what's right. And our country needs to be a lead, and it is our country. So I don't want to say the United States. This is our United States of America, and we are Americans that are saying we don't want our resources, our dollars to be used to kill innocent lives anywhere. But in Yemen especially, while people are turning their back, and it is rooted in the fact that we turn our backs. Yemen! Color, those that are poor.
I am from Aden. Yes. I am from Hudaida. Yes. I am from Taj. Yes. Yes, it is me. Yes. I am Yemen. Yes. Thank you very much.
Okay, okay. No, please stay, please stay.
نفديك يا يمن بالروح بالدم نفديك يا يمن بالروح بالدم نفديك يا يمن بالروح بالدم نفديك يا يمن minute. صنعاء قبلتنا والحديدة حبيبتنا وعدن دلوعتنا وتعز نهضتنا. أما مأرب ماذا قلت؟
بلادنا.
مأرب حصانتنا. انتبهوا لهذا.
لك يسلم تمك.
All right, give her a round of applause, everybody. Think about what she just said. She was proud of living in Yemen. People tend to think that Yemen is a country that everybody wants to run away from. She wanted to stay, but her schools in her neighborhood and her home were destroyed by taxpayer, by bombs sold by the United States to Saudi Arabia. A deal that was cut by people whose salaries we pay with our taxpayer dollars. This is the story that I want all of you today to hear and to recognize. And I know Rashida and Debbie, you can take this message back to Biden. We turned out in numbers during a pandemic to ensure that Michigan flipped back for Joe Biden so that we can get rid of the man who instated the Muslim ban. But that is not enough. So closing out the story, United States sold bombs, destroyed a prison in Saada that held prisoners that were likely Ethiopian. Over nearly 100 were murdered. And then subsequently another bomb was dropped on the eastern part of Yemen that killed children playing soccer. These are bombs that the United States of America sold to this regime that then is fighting for this idea of protecting Yemen. So I want to give Debbie an opportunity to speak and address the crowd of people that are in deep pain right now. And then we're going to pass it to Abdullah, and then I want people to hear the story. I want them to hear the story of so many of you in this audience. Just like our Hajjah who said her story and why it's so important. So Debbie, please come on up.
So I want to say to you, it is not okay. Rashida and I together have been fighting this war and trying to fight for the United States to understand that the Yemenis need help. And Abe, I got one problem, wherever you went, where Abe. I don't think of Yemen as a country people run away from. I think of it as a country that people here are proud to come from. Their families of the Mideast, and don't ever say people want to run away from a country that is their home.
Ask Debbie Dingle if she takes contributions from Lockheed Martin.
I don't know, because I don't know where I get, but I'll tell you something. I am not afraid to speak up to the Saudi Arabians. And I have told the Saudi Arabians that they should not.
Lockheed Martin, Google it. They sell weapons to Saudi Arabia. She accepts campaign contributions from them.
Hold on. Just a second.
Vote. You know what?
That's not disrespectful. That's fact. Google it.
Fact. Fact. I'm going to give you facts. I have stood up to the Saudis. I have told them what they are doing is wrong. I have met with the Saudi Arabian ambassador, and I am fighting the Saudi Arabians in Yemen every goddamn day because it's wrong, and I fight for the people of Yemen. I want to say something to you.
Where is she?
400,000 children. 400,000 children are dying for hunger in Yemen every.
What about the children in Palestine?
It's a
and I worry
bipartisan
about those children. I just want, listen, I think I just, please, I know, listen, you think, listen,
$1 billion war.
I want you to know, I know it's hard. I was you marching. I'm on the inside, I see it. I know it's hard to see it because I see what she does. I know you don't believe me. I don't stand with anybody. I am not afraid to tell you who's a sellout. But I am telling you, when I felt completely alone, when it came to issues around pushing back against the wars, against really, I believe, racialized wars,
They come after our countries, where our family is from. We're so proud.
That's why we support you. We vote for you.
Her fight. Now,
we support you. We vote for you.
Can I back up the
Yes.
circle?
One of the things that I want you to know, please, when I see people, whatever that they're doing, it matters what they do behind closed doors, and I see it. He knows. We all have seen it. They will say things differently in closed doors. Debbie actually says more in closed doors.
And takes
And now,
contributions.
listen, I just want you to know, like, I've seen her shed tears. From the families, no, I have seen it, but I'm not here to defend, I'm here to focus on Yemen.
Yes.
I'm
You
here to
can't
talk
focus
about-
on Yemen without looking to the source.
Yes.
And I
Where
want-
are the weapons coming from?
Yes.
Which companies
Free
are making
Yemen!
billions?
Free Yemen! Free Yemen!
Free Yemen!
Let me say this. I have the mic as a Yemeni American right now.
Yes.
So when we organized this event, we didn't set up a debate.
Yes, sir.
If you want to advocate for the U.S. involvement in the military-industrial complex, you can go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
And I will stand with you. Let me speak.
We are in Yemen.
I will stand with you. But you got to understand something. I said from the onset, today is a day for Yemeni Americans to be able to address our elected officials to speak out on this conflict.
Yes.
I am not here to debate who takes contributions from who. I'm not here to debate whether or not the United States is complicit in violence around the world, because we know that to be fact. What I want to happen today, and I can speak for every Yemeni American standing in this crowd right now, we want to ensure that our elected representation hear from Yemeni Americans about the conflict and the massacre that is happening in Yemen. So I want to give the floor to our federal delegation once again to tell us how they are standing with Yemen, and then I want them to hear from Yemeni Americans in particular about this crisis. But before that, I want to hand the mic to Mayor Abdullah Hamoud.
Assalamu alaikum. You know, I have been at countless of protests for Yemen
Yes.
with my Yemeni sisters and brothers.
We appreciate it.
Because regardless of where you come from today, we're all Yemeni.
Yes, sir.
And the reality is that the humanitarian crisis is just that. It's a crisis for all of humankind, not just for Yemen. And so we use our collective voices to shed light on the atrocities that are happening. And it's on us to hold our elected officials accountable. It is on us to come together and educate, because educating what is happening in Yemen is first and most importantly, the biggest step that we can take and hopefully advocating for that change. And I know at times it seems as though change is not happening quick enough, and the reality is it is not.